What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nick Robinson back with the Yara Effect, and today we're going to talk about the recap for episode 7, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So here we are. It's Porsha's birthday. So we know Porsha brings fun, she brings energy, she brings lightness. She's funny. So she has planned a trip to Nashville to celebrate her birthday. I believe her birthday is in July, so that's the time frame of when this episode was shot. Okay, so she's invited most of the cast, excluding Drew Sidora, okay, because they're still in this little tassel or whatever between her filming with Dennis and doing other things that Porsha just feels is not right as it pertains to etiquette when it comes to filming and their friendship. So even though Porsha isn't just like all rah rah about it, she's like, yeah, I'm not fooling with her. Okay, so she also invites some of her other friends that are not on cast that we know very well, Manetta Shaw, and some of her other friends that we see her around Atlanta with. Okay, so they're talking about the trip, they're, leaving and everything. Miss Angela Oakley takes it upon herself to invite Drew onto Portia's trip. Okay, so I have a lot of issue with that because you know that Porsha and Drew are not getting along. Okay, so even before you came along, Porsha and Drew had their own type of relationship, friendship, business arrangement, all of that. How do you think that inviting her on Porsha's trip is going to help with what's going on between them? You barely know Porsha, okay? Because if you knew Porsha, you wouldn't have done that, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm not with Angela on the move to invite someone onto a trip that's at odds with the person who's throwing the trip. I mean, I just think that was a bad move. I don't know if she just didn't think it all the way through, or what, but that to me, that could have been ugly. And I'm glad that we see the growth that we see with Porsha because, I mean, a few years ago, Angela would have caught the hands. Drew would have been caught them. And then Angela would have been up next for the stunt that she pulled. But Porsha is really, maturing. She's showing that she can be better than she was. All right. So she says, I want Drew to be here. And then reveals that she invited her. Now, my question is, did Angela invite her for Porsha or for herself? Because that's who she's closest to in the group at this point. Now that Kenya has been extricated. Okay, because it seemed like she was trying to form a bond with Kenya and everything like that. Because in the whole beginning of the beef between Kenya and Britt, she was like, well, I'm team twirl or whatever. Okay, so do you not feel a connection with anybody else on the cast, and that's why you brought Drew? Because you want to go, but you ain't want to be without your bestie in the group. One thing I can say about Angela is that she did call Drew out for lying. Because once again, here we go with Drew lying, talking about she was cousins with Michael Jordan. I don't know where Drew's brain be. Okay, first of all, when you are in certain circles, it's small. Okay, it's small. So all it takes is a text, a phone call, a DM to verify stuff. Why did she think that she could get away with saying that she is cousins with Michael Jordan when Angela's husband is an NBA star himself, Charles Oakley? Girl, what is wrong with her? And so she was like, girl, I asked Marcus, which is Michael Jordan's son. I asked Marcus Jordan, are y'all cousins? And he said, you guys are not. And so then Drew silly behind gonna sit here and say, oh, well, I'm manifesting it. Like, girl, shut up. Shut up. See, this right here is why Drew gets on my nerves. I've said it every review, but this is an example of what I mean by her getting on my nerves. She just, I don't know, she irks me because I don't like liars. Okay? I don't like liars. Liars. And then lie just to be lying. Nobody asked you You see what I'm saying? Because she was like, my main name is Jordan, Drew, Jordan, Michael, Jordan. Like, girl, stop. No one asked. Okay? No one asked. So you just voluntarily lying for nothing. I can't trust people like that. And I have a theory because I watch a lot of true crime. I love true crime because I like studying the behaviors of people. I really should have been like a psychiatrist or something. But anyway, it's my thought that if you will lie, you will cheat. If you'll cheat, you will steal. If you'll steal, you'll kill. So if anybody, in my opinion, indulges too deeply in those behaviors, it's just kind of like a domino effect. And I'm not saying that Drew would go down this path that I'm saying. It's just I'm explaining why I don't like liars. Because, it's just doesn't make sense to lie. Okay? So anyway, they're on the trip. They're riding the bull and everything like that. Having a good time, laughing, kikiing, doing girl stuff. They look cute in their little Nashville get-ups with the little cowgirl-inspired fashions and everything. We see Kelly and Britt getting all dressed up. Those girls never put their breasts away. It's so funny. They always got everything all out, but it's just a fun time. And then we see in the preview of the next episode where Drew does show up eventually, and it looks like she's getting ready to leave, and Porsha is not bothered about it. She's like, bye, bye, bye. What did Drew expect? When you didn't get an invite from the person throwing the trip, and you know that y'all are at odds with each other because Portia's just like, I don't want nothing to do with her, why would you then waste your time? I wouldn't even waste my time. I remember I had a friend, and her mom, her sisters, and her were going on a trip, and she wanted me to come, and I didn't feel comfortable coming because though I had met her sisters on one occasion, I never met her mom, and from what she was telling me, it was like they wanted to do a trip amongst themselves to reconnect as a family, mother-daughter trip. I'm not related to the family at all. I didn't feel comfortable going, but my friend kept insisting, oh yeah, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And her little sister was like not with it at all. You know what I'm saying? Her little sister was like, no, we don't know her, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. Her big sister was like, no, we don't know her that well. You know how Daphne, which is that little sister, is. You know what I'm saying? You know how she is. So, it's like, I didn't want to go. Okay? I had the sense to say, you know what? I appreciate the invite, but no, go with your sisters, your mom, blah, blah, blah. Child, Drew don't use the sense I feel that God gave her. She should have known better than to go on that trip. I found it interesting that before she even got on the plane to go, because Angela was like, where are you? Blah, blah, blah. They were already there for like a day. She finds herself, of all the places in Atlanta, of all the clubs, bars, whatever in Atlanta, she finds herself at Crew Midtown, which is Dennis's spot. It's interesting to me how, the remarks that she made about Dennis, doing music with Dennis, being at Dennis's club. It's a lot of Dennis going on. It's a lot of Dennis going on. And then she's like, bro this, bro that, bro, trying to like play down, I feel, the interaction or whatever it is. Because one minute she said, oh, Dennis and I don't talk on the phone. The next minute, we see her having a phone conversation with him. I don't know what she meant by that, because sometimes you can mean, oh, well, we talk, but not like that. Or it could be we don't talk at all on the phone. I didn't believe it anyway, because how can you do a whole music project with somebody and never talk to them on the phone? It just doesn't make any sense. Some things can't be done via text or email. Some things you have to talk about, right? So whatever. And then the conversation that the cameras did catch her having with Dennis, I don't remember that it was about music, because that's y'all's business, right? Y'all supposed to be doing music together. So whenever it comes to Drew, I be like on the fence about what she's saying. I try to figure out what's the truth, and see, that's what gets on my nerves. I don't like having to sift through the mess to see what's the truth. So she's at his bar or whatever, Crew Midtown, and they're sitting in what looks like the VIP, and he's sent over a bottle, and she's like, "Thank you for the bottle, bro." You know, her sister or whatever, saying that she's celebrating the fact that they got a record deal together or whatever. They got a record offer. So once again, that's going to make them be in even more close proximity because they got to work even more. And it's just not a good look. If you are supposed to be friends with somebody and they don't feel comfortable with you doing work with their ex-fiance slash father of her child, and you care that much about the relationship, you would have, cleared it, made sure it was good, made sure it was, safe to move forward. And then just the interaction wouldn't be so much, it seems. I don't know. But anyway, here we are. It's going to be some kind of blow up, I guess, at some point. Because it's only so much Porsha going to be able to take, I feel, with regard to the disrespect. Okay? So, that's pretty much the episode. 2 episodes ago, we saw what was the big issue with the season, which is the beef between Kenya and Britt. I want to take a moment to talk about Britt. I'm not Team Twirl or anything like that, but I'm not sure how I feel about Britt myself. She's a little off a little bit to me. Still trying to figure out who she is. She seems to be very defensive at times, and when she gets in that mode, it's kind of hard to relate to her. It's kind of hard to connect with her as a viewer, and I'm sure as well as a cast member. So right now, her and Kelly are still good. Something happens between those ladies because by the time filming wraps, Kelly didn't have many complimentary things to say. She kind of didn't mention Britt in a negative way, but you could tell it was something, a disconnect occurred. Right now, Kelly got Britt back. She hooked her up with her stylist, all of that. So I'm interested to see what happens with the breakdown between Britt and Kelly because they good right now. Also, we see Shamia and Porsha. They're going along, but again, Shamia is holding on to some things, and she hasn't really addressed them with Porsha yet. We see that that's coming up. So it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamics change with the ladies throughout the course of the filming. I'm also waiting to see when they're going to do the reunion because I don't think they filmed the reunion yet. Usually we hear when they have filmed the reunion. I believe it's going to be about 18 episodes in this season, something like that. So they usually film the reunion closer towards the end. So we are working our way towards halfway through the season. What do you guys think of this season? It is different than Real Housewives seasons of before because majority of the cast is new. As far as full-time peach holders, we have Porsha returning. Yeah, so let's just see how it goes. I feel like there's ebbs and flows in it. I'm not saying I want drama at every moment, but it is a little, I don't know, it's something missing. It's some pizzazz missing. I think that's where Phaedra will come in. I think that, Phaedra works well when there's a team type of dynamic. I feel that, with her teaming up with Porsha, that's going to be a good dynamic because, she does well with not a sidekick, but like partnership, I'll say. Because when she was on Housewives before, it was, her and Candy. And then when her and Candy fell out, it was her and Porsha. Initially when she first came on, it was her and Apollo. So she does good when she's in a partnership, I feel, in this setting. And I feel like that's why when she was on Married to Medicine, it really just didn't click well. I didn't feel like she really added too much. She added viewers for sure, but as far as what she was giving in it, it wasn't really much. Because her and Quad were supposed to be like this duo in season 10, and then that fell apart. So season 11, she was very distant, etc. So at any rate, I'm wanting to see how she comes in. hopefully it's a breath of fresh air. Hopefully it gives some lightness to it, because Porsha is still at this time in the midst of her divorce. I don't know if she had a cease and desist about speaking about her divorce, because I know that she couldn't film in the house. I know he had done that, but I wonder, was there a cease and desist that was issued, because she really hasn't talked about her divorce that much. She hasn't gone into any details. And so, of course, we as the fans, y'all were so public about getting together and all the things that y'all was doing. They even had gotten a spinoff and everything. So, of course, we want to know, like, what's going on. I guess now that her divorce in real time is legally finalized, maybe on her YouTube channel, Porsha will talk about it, which I am enjoying her YouTube channel. She's fun. She's funny. Y'all go check it out. She's a fun girl. I enjoy Porsha. So, but that's all I got for this episode. Waiting to see some more entertainment, because I mean, let's be honest, it's reality TV, but it's also entertainment from the ladies. Let's see how this trip wraps up. Let's see how everything unfolds. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think this season is a little, or are you guys enjoying it thoroughly? Because I mean, I'm kind of like on the fence about how I feel about this season so far. I know we still have a lot to go, but right now I'm a little about it. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share all the good things. I appreciate every last one of you. Love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.